Good evening everyone. I hope you guys are well. Welcome back to my channel. Before we begin, subscribe to my channel and like my video. And tell me about your horror experiences in comments section.
City General Hospital doesn't list a bed 0. Every floor starts at bed 1, no exceptions. That's what they told me on my first night shift in the ICU. Near the end of the hall, a monitor began to beep. No room number. Just a blinking 0 pulsing on the screen. I thought it was a system glitch until the charge nurse noticed it. Her face drained of color when she saw the number. Bed 0 isn't assigned, she whispered. And we don't acknowledge it. The beeping didn't sound urgent. It was slow, steady, almost calm, like someone breathing in the dark. I followed the sound to a space between rooms that shouldn't exist. A narrow gap, hidden by a single curtain. Inside was a bed. A man lay there with his eyes open, chest rising slowly, staring at nothing. His chart had no name, no age, no diagnosis. Just one sentence, admitted indefinitely. When I asked if he needed help, he smiled. Then he whispered my full name. My heart dropped. I had never told him who I was. His vitals were perfect, but his skin was ice cold. Deep restraint marks circled his wrists like scars from years ago. Suddenly, the monitor flatlined. The sound was sharp, final. But the man kept breathing. Slow. Calm. Alive. I ran to get help. When we came back, the space was empty. No bed. No curtain. No patient. Just a cold draft where he'd been. The charge nurse finally told me the truth. Bed 0 appears when someone cheats death. Patients who survive surgeries they shouldn't. People who were supposed to die, but didn't. So what happens to them? I asked. She looked straight at me. They stay. Someone has to balance the count. That night, I saw a new chart printed at the nurse's station. It had my name on it. The monitor is beeping again. Are you sure you were discharged properly? Ward C was shut down years ago after a fire. Everyone in the hospital knows that. So why was I assigned to clean it at 2 in the morning? We were short-staffed, and I needed the overtime. Security unlocked the doors and warned me not to stay long. Just mop the halls, they said. And whatever you hear, ignore the call lights. The moment I stepped inside, the smell hit me. Burnt plastic, old blood, and something sweet that felt wrong. The lights flickered, revealing empty beds lined in rows. Their rails were melted and twisted like they'd been exposed to extreme heat. Then a call light turned on at the end of the hall. Room C17 blinked softly in the dark. I told myself it was faulty wiring. That lie lasted until I heard coughing. It was wet and deep. Human. Inside room C17 sat a patient covered in soot. His skin was blistered and cracked, as if it had never healed. Oxygen tubes hung from his face, but no tank was attached. He stared at me like he'd been waiting. Late again, he rasped, his voice scraping the air. I checked the chart at the foot of the bed. Admission date, the night of the fire. Status, still breathing. As I moved down the hall, I realized every room was occupied. Burn victims lay in beds that shouldn't exist. Nurses with melted faces watched me mop. Doctors with eyes fused shut turned their heads as I passed. The intercom crackled overhead. Code red, Ward C. The doors slammed shut all at once. The sound echoed like a coffin ceiling. Patients began unplugging themselves. Some crawled. Some walked. All of them smiled. I ran until my lungs burned and my hands found an exit door. The metal handle was ice cold. As I escaped, I heard screaming behind me. It wasn't fear, it was anger. The next morning, my supervisor said Ward C was never opened. No cleaning was scheduled. So why were my logs signed by patients who died years ago? And why does my skin still smell like smoke? Dr. Hale died during surgery 10 years ago. Heart attack, that's what the hospital reports. But every nurse knows he still does rounds. I never believed the stories. Not until he checked my patient. At exactly 3:12 a.m., I saw him enter room 404. He was tall, calm, and already wearing surgical gloves. The patient's vitals stabilized instantly. The machine stopped alarming, one by one. I followed him into the hallway and called his name. He turned slowly, his face gray and his eyes sunken. "You're new," he said quietly. They never warn the new ones. I checked the staff board at the nurse's station. His name was still listed. Clocked in. No clock out time. Later, I found him washing blood from his hands. The stains never faded, no matter how long he scrubbed. That's when he told me the truth. Hospitals collect unfinished work. Regret. Guilt. Promises made to patients who didn't survive. "So you're trapped?" I asked, my voice barely steady. He smiled. "No. I'm needed." That night, 3 patients declared dead began breathing again. One of them screamed until sunrise. He begged to be let go. Administration praised our survival rates the next morning. No one asked how it happened. Dr. Hale still walks the halls after midnight. His footsteps echo long after he passes. So if you hear someone checking vitals late at night, ask yourself, did your doctor ever really leave? Room 713 is always occupied. Even when it's empty. No other room in the hospital behaves that way. Patients transferred there improve at impossible speeds. Tumors shrink, bleeding stops, pain disappears overnight. Doctors call it a miracle room. They don't question why no one ever checks out. I watched a woman beg to leave after a week of perfect scans. She said the room wouldn't let her go. Her 4 lines tightened on their own. The door refused to open, no matter how hard she pulled. The room began to hum, low and steady. It sounded almost satisfied. At night, the walls whispered names. Soft at first, then louder. They were the names of former patients. All of them still inside. When I tried to move her, the bed grew heavier. The monitors screamed as if something was wrong with the room itself. The lights dimmed. The door locked us in. She grabbed my hand, her eyes wide with fear. "Why does the room need us?" she asked. I never signed another transfer to room 713 after that night. I avoided that hallway completely. But last night, my badge unlocked the door by itself. I never touched the reader. My name was carved into the wall, deep and permanent. How long do you think before room 713 refuses to discharge me? The morgue elevator only goes down. Everyone in the hospital knows that. Except at midnight. Security cameras show it rising empty. Doors opening and closing with no one inside. No one believed the footage mattered. Until my shift. At 12:01 a.m., the elevator stopped on my floor. The doors opened slowly. Body bags stood upright inside. Their zippers twitched and crept open. The toe tags flipped by themselves. Each one now read, admitted. One body bag stepped forward. The others stayed perfectly still. It was my patient, pronounced dead an hour earlier. He looked relieved. "Thank you," he said softly. "It's warmer upstairs." The elevator doors closed behind him. It descended back toward the morgue. A moment later, the hospital census updated on the screen. One more patient had been admitted. So tell me, are you sure death signed you out?
I hope you liked this video. The Hollow chapter will return with more terror and horror. Like and subscribe to stay updated.